Raider Nation, what's going on? You're watching the Raiders Report. Coming up here on today's show, a Raiders Day 3 mock draft and some targets that the Silver and Black could potentially look at in what looks to be a very busy day for Josh McDaniels and Dave Ziegler because the Raiders have 7 picks today. I know, a lot of stuff to be able to do. So as it stands right now, here are the 4 picks that the Raiders have made during the 2023 NFL Draft. You went Tyree Wilson, round 1, pick number 7. Good value there. Michael Mayer, Dave Ziegler said that they had him in the top 20 of their overall prospects. So you go up, you get the top tight end in this year's class. Byron Young, the defensive lineman out of Alabama. Good defensive tackle. Isn't great, but good and fills a big-time need. The head scratcher is Trey Tucker. That's the one that I'm a little bit concerned about. But for the Raiders in a draft that I was really hoping they would go very, very heavily on the defensive side of the football. 4 picks down, 2 offense, 2 defense. I'm going to tell you right now, on this mock draft, I am going to go heavy defense. No doubt about that. So when you look at all the picks that the Raiders have made, I want to be able to sit up here and confidently look in the eyes of Raider Nation and say, the Raiders had 12 picks. You did everything that you could to address the defensive side of the football because that's been a big-time weakness. Unfortunately, it was not easy to do during this mock. I'll be 100% honest with you. It did not turn out exactly the way that I wanted to do it. I did do this mock on PFF because they have everything up to date. So all the picks that you see are picks that I made in that mock draft. Before I break down today's mock, remember we are going to be live at 10:30 Central Time, so 8:30 Pacific for Day 3. Coverage, every single pick. We're going to have them before you see them on television. Huge shout out also to Raider Ron for being our MVP of Day 2 and Zane DeSavior being the MVP of Day 1. Let's go to pick 109 here, round 4. The Raiders have yet to take a corner. And in this mock draft, the way that it went was like Keely Ringo went off the board. I mean, all the top guys were gone. So to me, the top player left on my board was a press man corner in Cory Trice, 6'3", 215 pounds. If you've watched the show before, you'll know that I like this guy. He's a physical player. Sometimes people will throw out the comp of Richard Sherman. I don't quite see that one. I see it more based on his athletic build and the dreads. 34 tackles, 2 INTs, 10 pass breakups. From the Athletics' Dane Brugler, this is what he had to say. Trice might never be a high-level technician, but he has exceptional size, speed, and change of direction skills to be a disruptive cover man, both early and late in the rep. He offers position versatility with starting potential in press man or cover 3 schemes. So again, what you will see in this mock is me really trying to address the defensive side of the football. But on top of that, I'm going to go with players that I like. I mean, I'll tell you that right now. I'm going to try to go with dudes who I really think can make an impact on this team. This is the Raiders cornerback depth chart before the draft process. I'm a big fan of Duke Shelley, good press man corner. David Long Jr., another good press man corner. But to me, Nate Hobbs still needs to prove himself. The issue is with the Raiders' lack thereof moves in free agency and lack thereof moves so far in the draft, I'm wondering if they think that they can get back a guy like Rock Ya-Sin. So what do you think, y'all? We got 6 picks left here in this mock. Who do you want the Raiders to draft on Day 3? Please don't be shy. Be loud. Be proud. Let me know down in the comments section. So the Raiders, when they traded up to get Michael Mayer, they gave up pick 38 and pick 141. So we no longer have 141, which takes us to pick 144 in round 5. And I was shocked that this guy was still on the board. And I'll be 100% with you. I don't think he's still going to be on the board at 144. But it was a mock draft. We've seen enough players slide in this one. So I went with Ivan Pace Jr., linebacker out of Cincinnati. If this is the pick that they go with, which maybe because they went with Tucker, the wide receiver out of Cincinnati, former teammate, if you told me at the end of the draft we swapped Ivan Pace Jr. and Trey Tucker at 144 and 100, I would feel a lot better about the overall value. If you like numbers, if you like production, this young man right here is a hell of a player. 136 tackles last season with the Bearcats, 20.5 tackles for loss, 9 sacks. Pace, he is undersized and faces questions about his ability as an every down player in the NFL, but he is instinctive with the play speed, urgency, and contact balance to consistently affect the game. His exact position fit will be different from scheme to scheme, but it will be important for him to carve out a role on special teams. Right now, the Raiders linebacker depth chart stinks. And I'm going to be 100% with you. I don't have a lot of confidence in Divine Diablo. I don't have a lot of confidence in Robert Spillane. The Silver and Black needed to add a starting caliber linebacker, and they have yet to do that. I mean, they might legitimately have the worst linebacker room in the NFL as it stands right now. Am I happy you got Tyree Wilson? Of course. Am I happy you addressed the trenches with Byron Young? Of course I am. But there were better players on the board, and, man, for them still not have a linebacker, but you got an extra wide receiver, very, very head-scratching move there. Let's go to the last pick here in round 5 for the Raiders, pick 174, Daniel Scott. Another player that I was very happy to get in my mock, and what was funny is when I was looking at this mock draft, and sometimes, like when I do a mock, I'll run a few different variations up to see where Scott goes. Scott was going anywhere between 180 to 150. So if he's on the board here at 174, it's a really good value. I know that the Raiders brought him in on a top 30 visit. They like this young man a lot as well. 6'2", 215 pounds, 85 tackles last season for the Cal Bears. 3 INTs, 4 pass breakups. His overall scouting report, according to Tom Downey, Tom has him as his 148th overall player. His 10th ranked safety. One of the true free safeties this year with the most of his career snaps coming there. Great athlete with range and jumps. The reason why I believe that this is an option on day 3 is because the Raiders want a true free safety. Trevon Merrick has not really lived up to that bill, and Trevon Merrick is not a Josh McDaniels and Dave Ziegler guy. So, sure, he might not be the best in man coverage, and he has missed a lot of tackles, but he can still go back there and play center field, which is what the Raiders are going to try to do. Before I share the remainder of today's mock draft, remember, we are giving out 2 tickets to the Raiders home opener. All you got to do is go to theblackoutdivision.com. Link's going to be available for you guys in the comments and in the description of today's show. Link is down there. Enter your email address for a chance to win. Huge shout out to the Blackout Division. I'm glad that we were able to partner up, and sounds like Chugs and I might be there as well. Let's go to round 6 now, pick 204. I know I have done a lot of mocks in the past. Jay Kaner off the board. Aiden O'Connell off the board. To me, the only other quarterback that was legitimate, I was worth taking here, was either Stetson Bennett or Clayton Tune. For that reason, I'll take Tune at 204. I don't love the Raiders quarterbacks right now. Jimmy Garoppolo, very injury prone. Brian Hoyer is just an old backup, so you still need to add someone in case he goes down. And I said before that I am 100% confident the Raiders will take a QB. I will stick to my guns in saying that. 67% completion percentage, 4,000 yards, 40 touchdowns. Dane Brugler had this to say about Tune. Tune will face a learning curve as the decision-making and eye discipline translate to the pro game. But he is a natural passer with functional mobility, accuracy, and intangibles worthy of the NFL game. He has the necessary tools to become a backup and spot starter at the next level. That's all you would need him to be. Spot starter, backup at the next level in case somebody goes down. Let's go to my next pick here in round 6 at 214. If you don't already know, I love Atonio Mafi. To me, he is in a great guard in terms of athletic ability. He allowed 3 sacks last season. It is what it is, and he is more of a left guard, which the Raiders, they need more of a right guard. To me, though, if you're going to take him in round 6, you say, hey, you want an opportunity to get on your field? Go for it. Mafi, really good athlete. And that's one of the reasons why I do like him here. NFL defenders will expose the raw areas of his game, but Mafi is a promising heavy-handed mauler who looks to create movement within the line power. Although he might need time on a practice squad, he has the talent worth developing in a power-based scheme. One of the best offensive line coaches in the NFL is Carmen Bracillo. And personally, Netane Moody to me reminds me a little bit of Mafi because both of these guys are maulers. The other reason why I love Dylan Parham when he was first coming out of the draft is because of that versatility. You could kick in Dylan Parham, who played right guard at Memphis, and then you might be able to put Mafi there. Like, you have a little bit of versatility here, which is why I decided to go with that pick. Let's go to round 7, 220. Jose Ramirez, the edge rusher from Eastern Michigan. I made this joke before in my last mock when I drafted him, but the last time the Raiders took an edge from Eastern Michigan, it seemed to work out pretty damn good. On top of that, he's a hell of an athlete. Like, honest to God, he's a really good athlete. He's terrible against the run, and he can't do anything besides just get after the quarterback. So in a situation where if he's in the right spot, it's 3rd down and 10, Chandler Jones is tired, Tyree Wilson's tired. I went with the guy who I had highest on my board. That was Ramirez here. Offenses will find success running to his side of the field, but Ramirez gets the quarterback off schedule with his relentless pass rush sequence. He projects best standing up as a rotational edge rusher. That's what I see. And that's why I ended up going here with this pick. Remember, this draft depth chart is before the NFL draft. Crosby, Chandler Jones' contract ended up getting restructured. Malcolm Kuntz, Jordan Willis as well. And then you added the guy who took it number 7 overall. Let's go to the final pick here in my mock draft. Sir Voss EA, known as Vossi, is the nickname. Good player at a Pitt, 91 tackles, 7 sacks, 2 forced fumbles. He was the highest graded linebacker we had on our board, and for that reason, we're going to go with that route. Tom has him as a 5th round grade, so the fact that I was able to give him in round 7, I'm all about it. To me, he's also going to play special teams. He has over 400 snaps on special teams, which you like to see. He does bring you some blitzing value, which, again, is what I'm looking for at the linebacker position. Dennis lacks desired size for every down duties in the NFL, but he has a fast-flowing with the eyes and tackling skills that lead to NFL production. He should be an immediate special teamer who can carve out a role on defense. When I'm at that point, those are the type of players that I look for in round 7. Very intelligent player. He did not play in the Senior Bowl because of an ankle injury, so that's definitely something to look at. But overall talent at this point in the draft, give me Vossi Dennis here at pick 231. If you haven't already, make sure you hit me up, I should say, on social media at MitchellRentz365. Also, Cameo is there as well as locals. So here we go, my Raiders day 3 mock draft. I took Cory Trice at 109. The Raiders, they traded away the pick 141 at Indianapolis in round 2 to select Michael Mayer. Ivan Pace Jr., Daniel Scott goes off the board. Clayton Tune from Houston. Atonio Mafi from UCLA. Jose Ramirez from Eastern Michigan. Vossi Dennis out of Pittsburgh. So before I head on out of here, and because honestly, I filmed this late. Technically, I guess now it's Saturday, April 29th. But Chugs and I are getting ready right now to go live for day 3. So A, B, C, D, or F. Let me know down in the comment section what you thought of my day 3 mock draft.